In an assertive move, the Philippines is making a bold statement by developing an airport on Pag-asa Island in the West Philippine Sea. This project underscores the Southeast Asian nation's determination to maintain its presence in the disputed waters, amidst ongoing tensions with China. As President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.'s office announced, the procurement of land for extending the runway on Pag-asa Island, also known as Thitu Island, is already underway. The island is part of the Spratly Islands, a contested area in the South China Sea where Beijing has laid extensive claims. Once completed, this airport is expected to revolutionize travel to and from the remote island, providing a lifeline for the Filipino civilians and military personnel residing there. This initiative not only strengthens the Philippines' foothold in the contested waters, but also signals their resilience against China's sweeping claims, which were rejected by a 2016 arbitral ruling. Manila has been proactive in asserting its rights, even sending vessels into the disputed sea, leading to confrontations with Beijing. Moreover, the construction of a military runway on Bulabac Island in Palawan Province is nearing completion. This strategic site, near the West Philippine Sea, is one of the 4 new locations accessible to the U.S. military under an expanded defense agreement from last year. President Marcos emphasized the importance of Palawan in national security, highlighting that the runway project is in its final stages. These infrastructure projects are high on the Marcos administration's priority list. They aim to open the region south of the capital to new investments, improve transport links, and boost the tourism sector. The South China Sea has long been a hotbed of tension, with countries like the Philippines, China, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Brunei vying for control over this resource-rich area. China's expansive claims, represented by the so-called Nine-Dash Line, overlap with those of its neighbors, sparking regional disputes. Despite the 2016 Hague Tribunal ruling favoring the Philippines, Beijing has largely ignored it, continuing to build and militarize artificial islands. In recent events, China's Coast Guard intercepted and shadowed Philippine vessels, trying to block their operations within the U.S. allies' internationally recognized maritime zone. Earlier this year, Chinese Coast Guard ships used water cannons against a Philippine supply boat, injuring sailors on board. In response, Manila has vowed to take unspecified countermeasures. The development of the Pag-asa Island Airport, first reported by Bloomberg, is a key part of the Philippines' broader strategy to bolster its presence in the contested waters. This move is seen as a way to enhance access for both civilians and military personnel to the island, where a small Filipino community and military forces are stationed. However, the project has not gone unnoticed by China. A spokesperson from China's U.S. Embassy reiterated China's claims, referring to the island and the surrounding areas by their Chinese names. The spokesperson condemned the Philippines' illegal occupation of the Nansha Islands and criticized the construction activities on Pag-asa Island. They emphasized China's commitment to resolving disputes through negotiation and urged the Philippines to honor previous agreements, such as the Declaration on the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea. As tensions simmer, the airport's development on Pag-asa Island is likely to further strain the already delicate relations between Manila and Beijing, setting the stage for a potentially volatile standoff in these contested waters. Early this year, a group of Philippine senators visited the island of Pag-asa in the South China Sea to launch a project that involves the construction of new barracks and other facilities aimed at strengthening the military and logistical capabilities of the armed forces in the area, control of which is disputed by China. This was reported by the Hong Kong newspaper South China Morning Post, according to which the project, intended to guarantee Manila logistical advantages and better access to the area's natural resources, risks provoking further counter-moves from Beijing, which already yesterday he threatened the senators by radioing the plane they were traveling on, asking for them to be removed. "It's sad. We are in our country, on Philippine territory, and we are told to leave because it would be Chinese territory. It is truly shocking, alarming, and infuriating," Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri told reporters during the visit. The island of Pag-asa, Hope in Filipino, also known as Thitu by the Vietnamese and Zhongyi Dao by the Chinese, is just under 500 kilometers from the coast of the Philippine province of Palawan. It is the largest of the Calayan group within the Spratly archipelago, whose sovereignty is claimed by Manila, Beijing, Taipei, and Hanoi. This island was ours even before Ferdinand Magellan discovered the Philippines. So go away, added Zubiri, addressing his Chinese interlocutors directly. In recent years, military and civilian ships have been flying into the area more and more frequently as China accuses the Philippines of illegally occupying the archipelago. The inauguration of the works in Pag-asa comes at a time of strong tensions between the two countries. In recent months, relations between China and the Philippines have been punctuated by numerous accidents in the waters of the South China Sea, a basin through which more than 60% of world sea trade passes, approximately $5.300 billion of goods per year, and 65% of China's foreign trade. Beijing claims almost all of it on the basis of the so-called 9-dash line, which since the XNUMX has demarcated the portion of the sea that China considers under its sovereignty. Opposing China's claims are Taiwan and all the coastal countries, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, and the Philippines. As China's international ambitions have grown, Beijing's aggressiveness has also increased, which in recent years has started a rush to militarize many of the atolls and reefs that underpin the South China Sea, as well as more frequent there have been accidents and risks of clashes between military ships and civilians from coastal countries. More and more often, in recent months, such episodes have concerned the Chinese and Philippine Coast Guards and, above all, the Second Thomas Shoal. The Spratly archipelago, it falls within the exclusive economic zone, EEZ of Manila, as confirmed in 2016 also by a ruling from the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, which, however, has always been ignored by Beijing. China, which considers those islands part of its territory, frequently uses its Coast Guard to remove, often with the use of water cannons, Philippine ships sent from Manila on a supply mission to the approximately 20 soldiers stationed at Burp Sierra Mother. In this regard, the Philippine government reiterated its determination to maintain its military outpost in Second Thomas. Philippine National Security Council spokesman Jonathan Malaya said Manila intended to reevaluate refueling arrangements, but would not allow anyone to remove the wreckage of the ship. The development of an airport on Pag-asa Island by the Philippines underscores its determination to assert sovereignty in the contested South China Sea. Despite China's sweeping claims and opposition, the Philippines is moving forward with infrastructure projects to bolster its presence and improve access for civilians and military personnel. This strategic move is set against a backdrop of increasing regional tensions, frequent maritime incidents, and international disputes. As Manila enhances its logistical and military capabilities, the construction on Pag-asa and other key sites reflects a broader strategy to reinforce its claims, ensure national security, and open the region to new investments in tourism. The ongoing developments highlight the complexities of geopolitical dynamics in the South China Sea and the persistent challenges in resolving territorial disputes.